Kelvin Hong here at the Economics Tutor, and today we are going to look at asymmetric information. This comes at a request by Ethan Tiong from RI. Guess the teachers there are not very good, yeah? So today we are going to be looking into this concept, which is part of your market failure topic. Definition: occurs when one party knows more than another, which makes it difficult for market transactions to occur. So one party knows more than another, and then somehow difficult for transactions to occur. So at this point, you may be wondering like, so what? So what? Right? So what? And how is it market failure? So these are questions that I'm going to come back to, okay, later in this video. Now let me also say that this is relevant for both IB and A levelers. However, if you are doing A levels H1 or IBSL, okay, not so relevant to you. You probably have something else better to do, okay? But if you don't, well, you're welcome to stay, all right? So this is more relevant for A levels H2 and for IBHL students, okay? Now at this point you may also be wondering, right, why on earth are you studying all this difficult economic concepts? Let me share with you that actually it is very relevant to our personal life, okay? Let me share with you this story. About 10 years ago, Chinese man sues wife for being ugly. Okay, can you beat that? And he succeeded. Okay, he got compensation. All right, he won certain. This is about 120,000 US dollars. Jian Feng was confused after his wife gave birth to an incredibly ugly baby. That's not me, by the way. So he married a pretty wife. She gave birth to an incredibly ugly baby. So you can understand he's like, what on earth is happening? He accused her of cheating. Well, as it turned out, she wasn't really cheating him, not the way he thought. Okay, not like she had, got to know some other male study buddy, not that kind of cheating. Okay, however, before she married him, as she admitted, she actually went to South Korea, spent about 100,000 US dollars on plastic surgery. And it was pretty successful plastic surgery. Okay, so when he found out, Jian Feng sued her, okay, and claimed that she tricked him, right? So cheated him in that sense, okay, to get him to marry her under false pretenses. So what I'm sharing with you here is, well, this is an example of someone who has gotten himself into trouble due to asymmetric information. So obviously in this case, his wife knew more than he did, right? So one party knows more than the other party. Maybe this is why marriage rates are falling. Transactions are difficult to occur. Maybe, I'm not sure. But this tells you how important it is, okay, to study your concept of asymmetric information. If you don't learn this carefully, then you may end up like Jian Feng. So pretty obvious, which is the before and which is the after. These are actually the pictures of his wife. Okay, so this is a real shocking story. Okay, such things actually happen, and what I find even more shocking is, hey, he actually won the lawsuit, man, right? So the judge, whom I assume is male, okay, must have empathized with him. Okay, so but you know, you don't get to always win such cases. So better for you if you learn your asymmetric information well, so that you can apply it correctly. And this is true for all you females out there as well, both males and females. Okay, in this modern age where plastic surgery is becoming more and more common, okay, makes learning asymmetric information and applying it correctly all the more important. So with this little bit of sharing, let's get back to the actual economics. Today we are just doing part 1, and we are focusing on adverse selection for this part 1. At this moment, you can pause the video and first run through for yourself the definition and also this comic strip. This is an infographic that all my students will have access to, okay, and we're just making use of it for this video. So please pause, run through the definition and also this comic strip. I'm going to assume that you have paused and you have gone through. So with that, you might be wondering, right? Still, what on earth does this mean? This is so technical. Product is predominantly demanded by a certain group of economic agents who could offer the lowest level of return for other parties. Yep, it is extremely difficult to understand. We are going to come back to this after we have gone through more detailedly the example of the second-hand car market. So from this comic strip, you can obviously tell that the sellers have more info. Okay, they know exactly how good the car is. They know how many accidents this car has been involved in, and well, they know whether they have done plastic surgery on this car or not, right? So the sellers have more info, the buyers have less information, and quite importantly, we should note that the buyers have less info, but they know they don't know. They know they don't know. Unlike Qian Feng, right? He has less info, but he sort of didn't know that he doesn't know, right? But here in this case, the buyers know they don't know. So because they know they don't know, how much would they pay, right? And they also know, of course, they can't just trust whatever the seller says, right? So as a result of that, they are not going to pay much for the second-hand car. So as you have read in the comic strip, okay, they are going to pay a low amount. And at that low amount, what would the sellers sell? The sellers are not going to sell good quality cars. So at the end of the day, you end up with only so-called lemons in the market. Lemons, inferior, defective, problematic, poor quality cars. Okay, so that's a phrase that, or the word that came out, okay, from someone who did this research and who came up with this theory of adverse selection. And only lemons in this market of second-hand cars. So you have a missing market for peaches. So peaches are the supposedly good quality second-hand cars. Okay, so from here you can better understand what it means here. Who could offer lowest level of return for other parties. Product is predominantly demanded. Second-hand cars are predominantly demanded by certain group of economic agents who could offer lowest level of return for other parties. So basically only those who are willing to buy lemons, right, will be in the market for second-hand cars, and they will be paying for the lemons, paying low price for the lemons, and as a result, only lemons will be in the market, okay, and the peaches will not be transacted in second-hand car market. And that's a problem. If only peaches could be transacted, everyone will be happier. Buyers will be happier. Why? Because there are buyers who wouldn't want a lemon, right? They much prefer a peach, right? If only peaches could be transacted. If only they could find a peach, know that it is a peach, and they will pay for the peach, they'll walk away happier, right? Or they'll drive away happier. And so will the sellers. I mean, there are always sellers, right, of peaches. Okay, someone who wants to buy a new car and he's got a high quality second-hand car and he wants to be able to sell it off, right? And then buy the new car. Okay, so these owners of peaches, sellers of peaches, they'll be happy, right? If they could sell the peach for the right price, for a fair price, whoo, they will be happier too. So everyone, the whole society would be happier if only they could get to transact peaches. Therefore, due to adverse selection, due to the fact that there is this missing market for peaches, societal welfare is not maximized if left to the free market. So that is the problem. Okay? So this would also answer our earlier question. So what? How is it market failure? Right? So basically, in the case of your second-hand car markets, difficult for market transactions to occur, that is with regards to those good quality second-hand cars, those peaches. Okay, and it is market failure because this missing market leads to a lower level of societal welfare than what it could have been. It does not maximize societal welfare. Alright, at this stage, let me also share with you that another very common example that you must be familiar with is for the market of healthcare insurance. It is pretty similar to what we have gone through. The principles, the ideas are the same. So a few things to note. In this market, the buyer knows more than the seller. Okay, the consumer knows more than the firm. Okay, so the consumer knows more about his health, right? Knows about his lifestyle. Okay, knows whether he is an alcoholic or not, or smoker or not. Okay, or prone to become one. Know how much he exercises, how much sugary drinks he drinks. Okay, and all these things he may be hiding from the seller. Right? So at the end of it all, only unhealthy individuals are going to be in this market. Because in this case, it is a seller. It is a seller that is going to set high prices. Because the seller is not stupid, right? If the seller is going to set low prices, believing what the buyer says, okay, the seller is going to end up having to pay going to end up burning his entire pocket, okay, on paying for the healthcare costs of the buyer. So the seller is going to set high prices for the healthcare insurance. But if you are the healthy sort, you're not going to buy this insurance policy. It doesn't make sense for you to buy the insurance policy. So therefore, only unhealthy individuals are going to be in the market. So these unhealthy individuals are the lemons in this case. So there will be a missing market once again of the peaches, which are the healthy ones. Okay? And once again, because of this missing market, societal welfare is not maximized. Because if only these peaches could also obtain insurance, the firm will be happy because it can serve more customers, okay, earn more revenue and profits, and these healthy individuals would also be happy if they could buy an insurance policy that will be low enough that will justify their purchase of it, right? Unfortunately, due to asymmetric information, then this may not happen, and therefore societal welfare not maximized, market failure. So basically, it's pretty much the same as your second-hand car market, but you need to know where the differences lie. Okay, so that's part one. adverse selection. See you in part 2 where we will cover moral hazard. Ciao.